Okay, we're gonna start by seeing how to make a for loop so that we can end up with something like this, where we have a video that gets progressively wider. But the idea is that you could use this for changing the seed, changing the steps, etc. So I'll just show you how to do it for dimensions because it's very easy to see the results. And for that we need for loops. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, you're gonna need some libraries installed, the comfyui-easy-use and the rg3. So this is how they look like in case you've never used them or don't have them. We're gonna find easy use, just this one right here, make sure it's updated. And the other one is rg3 and this one. Just make sure you have it. We'll be using nodes from this. So let's delete all this, we don't need it. And let's close this for a second. All right, so let's start from scratch. We need a for loop, and for loops, although they're very commonplace in programming, they're a bit weird to use in comfyui, so you might be a bit confused initially in how they work. So I'll just walk you through what I think is how they work, at least how they work for me. So we have a for loop here, start, we need an end obviously, and we have a flow, this will connect with the end. We have an index, which is a number that starts at 0, and then we increment by 1 every loop. So for example, in this case, let's bring it all the way to 3. We will see the index being 0, then 1, and then 2. So 3 times this appeared. If you want to think about it, it's like n minus 1. So whatever number you put here, just minus 1, and that will be the maximum value of index. More things can be done, but I will not discuss them right now. Let's just roll with index. Secondly, we need to end the for loop. So bring it in. So at this point, this is not a for loop yet because it's not connected. We need to connect the flow. Done. Now we have a for loop. That's it. So whatever happens inside of this loop is what is going to be iterating and going through the index. So to do that, maybe we can create a simple mathematical function. So maybe we take the index and we just add, say we add 10 to it. And we then have to connect this back to the end of the loop. So now this is part of the loop. And this variable information will be iterating every time. The documentation is not very clear. This is my interpretation of what's happening, but this is how it works for me. So at this point, I can run this, but there's nothing to see, right? Like this did nothing. So let's bring in some display nodes, display any, and let's connect them here. And let's also bring another display node and let's connect it here to value 1. Okay, so we expect to add 10 at every turn. So it's going to be 10 plus 0, 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2. So the last value should be 10 plus 2, which is 12. If I were to run this, okay, you get 12 in every turn. But the thing is, this is very fast, right? If I want to simulate having some time-consuming process, I can use what's called a sleep function. And essentially this is a wait function. So what I'll do is I'll just remove this node right here. I shift this here a little bit, and I'll make sure that the sleep function has to, just delay, delay this value. Maybe let's do 3 seconds. So what I hope to see here is that as we go through the iterations, I should see 10 plus 0, 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2. So let's see if it works. And sometimes it doesn't, and I'll show you why. Okay. 10, 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2. Done. Fantastic. Okay, great. So normally if I were to run this again, I should see the same results again, right? Well, somehow this ended at this stage. How come it's not progressing? Try again. Yeah, no, nothing. You can see it says idle. This is because my suspicion is that comfyui is very lazy and will cache results. So it will not recompute something it's already computed, which is important when you're doing is very computationally heavy. But for this kind of stuff, it also means that you need to reset or reload the nodes every time. So I just selected both nodes. I did reload, and then let's try again. And we can see again it's processing this. It's doing the 10, 10 plus 0, 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2. Okay, great. So at this point, we have a working for loop. Now the question is, how do we integrate this with an existing workflow that you might have? So let's take a look at the templates. Let's go, for example, to 1.2, 14b, 12b. Let's see, I like this one. Let's go. And well, there's a lot of stuff here, so I definitely don't need all this. So we're gonna just get rid of some of these nodes. I don't need any of this. We just ignore it. And we can see here that we have one existing example. And this should work out of the box. If you don't have these models downloaded, the first time you run it, you will download them. I'm not going to explain how to get this to work. I'm just assuming that you have a workflow that is already working for you. So, okay, I have an image I can use here. And let's say we have this prompt already. Let's change it to this cat. And yeah, cat warrior. Yeah, around the cat warrior. Okay, great. So we have a prompt. And if I were to just take a quick look, why don't we make this resolution a bit thinner? So maybe 320 by 680, and let's just do 41 seconds. Oops, 41. So the reason for that is so it's faster. I don't want to take too long doing this. So let's press run, and this should generate just one video of this cat, and it should take maybe a 2-second video or so. Going through samplers, etc. And waiting. Yep, we have a video. Fantastic. I can just press play, and yep, it works. Great. So now let's bring in this for loop. So I'm gonna just literally copy the whole thing. Go here and paste. Okay, now it worked. Took a few tries. So how are we gonna bring in this in? So in this case, I want to do something very easy to tell. So I'm gonna be changing the width of the video. So let's start by making sure I have the right numbers. So I want a number that maybe is 100, 200, 300 or something like that. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of this sleep function, and let's add another math function instead. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do maybe this is multiply by 10. Actually, let's just change it like this. This will be add 1. So the first, even though the first number, the first index is 0, we're adding 1, so it becomes 1. And then we're going to multiply it by 100. So we're going to hit 100, 200, 300. Okay. So make sure this is all well connected. Go here. And now, how can I make this part of my flow? Well, I should make sure that this is the input I need. So I know I need to connect this all the way here. Great. So at this point, I am in, but I'm not out. I haven't connected out. So there's a few problems at this point if I were to run this. I mean, first of all, this flow will not be part of the loop, so it will not iterate. Secondly is that I'm saving files with a certain prefix. So there's a chance that if I don't change the file name, I will have the same file being saved over and over. So then I will not be able to watch my video correctly. So to sort that out, I'm gonna create a little trick first. I'm gonna handle, let's handle the file name problem first. So let's do, this is, I think it's convert any. So this will take something, in this case it's an integer, and it turned into a string. And I need strings to give names to files. So let's do that. I'm not just gonna call it that. Let's say I wanna concatenate, and let's say I wanna just give it a more creative name. So we're gonna call it like a for loop example underscore w equals, and here the number comes, and there's no delimiter. Maybe, yeah, there's no delimiter, so this should just come straight. So the file name should be for loop example w something, and then this string should go here. Okay, so that's one. I think I might be able to add like a video slash to make sure like the file name is well formed, but that's about it. Actually, let me just double check that. Yeah, video slash comfyui. So we're gonna just copy that, and there we go. And now we link it again, so it's in the right folder. That's one. So I have now sorted the video issue, but the name issue. Now the issue we have still is that we haven't closed the loop. And for that to happen, we need to have something being updated in the for loop and then being stored here, just like we did with this math int. So we need to put another variable coming in here. So naturally, the variable of our interest is the video itself. Like we want to keep track of this videos being generated. So I'm just gonna unglamorously drag it over here. Don't do this if you care about aesthetics. And I'm gonna make sure that this goes here as well. So I didn't remove the connection to the save video. I just added a new one going here. So let's see what happens if I now run this. Okay, first video generated. Oops, nothing else. What happened? Job completed. Okay, maybe. Yeah, no, I'm missing my videos here. So let's delete everything and see what went wrong. Well, I think I mentioned that we needed to restart these nodes. So let's reload the nodes. And we are expecting to have, let's say, three iterations. So this will be 0 plus 1 times 100 means 100. So we should have 100 with video coming out. Let's try again. Okay, one video coming out. Still not flowing properly. Okay, let's try to debug this in real time. Okay, we have a video coming out here. We have the math in being stored. Just to make sure that we're not missing anything, let's use a display any to make sure we're catching some of the variables here. And we're also catching these variables. I noticed that this somehow is important. Like you need to have an out for this, even though you're interested in the loop. And let's reset this loop. Let's try again. Okay, that's video 1. Okay, interesting. Now it's working, seems like. Okay, video 2. And then video 3. Okay, fantastic. So you can see now this disappear here. I'll open it and I have my 3 videos. And that's it. And that's how you end up with a for loop that you can iterate and change things. I'm not an expert. I just spent a couple hours figuring this out. I know there are other functions, other libraries you can use. These are simple enough that work for me. And in my experiments, I typically want to try the steps and other quantities that are integers, but you can do the same with other types of math, for example, to change the CFG to see how much you follow the prompt and whatnot. So, okay, hope this helps and have a good day. Cheers.